My name is Haitham Suleiman, and today we are going to solve some physics problem. We are going to start with the Form 1 topics. So, Form 1s, are you ready? Good. So, the first topic in physics in Form 1 is known as Introduction to Physics. And the first question here says, A, we should define physics and we should define matter, right? Because when you want to know physics, the first thing that you need to know is what is physics, right? So let's see the answer here. It says that physics is the study of relationship between matter and energy. Right. So when we study about relationship between matter and energy, it means we are studying physics. So what is matter? We can see here the word matter. What does it mean? Matter is actually anything that you see. Anything that surrounds us is known as matter. And energy is simply the ability to do work. If you're able to do a certain work, then you're using some energy. And there are different types of energies, right? So the second, this part B says matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Right. So everything surrounding us has mass, right? And it occupies space. So basically, that we know that is matter. Before you ask what is mass, we can say mass is the measure of the quantity in an object. If we take this as our object, we can see that this pen here has mass, right? Because it has some quantity in it. This makes it different from another type, maybe let's say a chair or air. Air is also a matter because it has mass, it has quantity in it, right? If you were to measure it, you would see that it has quantity which is different from this quantity in the pen. So that is matter in general. And then to continue, we need to know the importance of studying physics. State the importance of physics in your life, right? Why do we study physics? Why do we have to go to school and then be like, okay, we're studying physics? Why do people in the universe study physics, right? For our level in Form 1, we should know just two importance. The first one says it makes us capable of answering many of the questions about physical properties of matter, right? As I said, matter is anything which surrounds us, right? So these matters have some behaviors. They behave. Some get attracted, some get repelled, some turn blue. They have different behaviors, different properties. So if we want to know about those kind of behaviors, we want to understand, then we should be able to, we are supposed to study physics. Example, if you take maybe a nail and then you put it close to a magnet, you see that it gets attracted. Oh, wow. That attraction is a behavior. So if you're studying physics, you are able to know about that behavior. Also, another importance is it enables us to acquire skills that are required to different professions, such as engineering and architecture. Some of you want to be architects, like architects are the people who prepare maps. And then some of you want to be engineers, like making roads, building houses, building bridges. So, in order to be an engineer, you should know physics, because in physics we are going to study about some principles and laws and how to create such infrastructures. So, in studying physics, you are able to acquire the skills that you require to different professions like engineering. Okay, good. Let's continue with our third question, which says which we should write true we should write true or false. Good. Okay, let's see. A says physics is expressed in mathematics. Okay, so it says physics is expressed in mathematics. Is this true or false? This is true. Why? Because we know in physics we have to do some calculations, right? And what are calculations? Math, right? We have to use some numbers to express our equations, our formulas that we are going to see later on in our topics. And these are mathematics. Mathematics is numbers. And in physics we use numbers. So we express physics in mathematics, right? So we are going to write here true, because we are supposed to write if it's either true or false. Okay, let's see the second question, B. astronomy is not a branch of physics. Okay, what is astronomy? We should know the definition of astronomy in order to know if this is true or false, right? Basically, when we say about astronomy, we mean the study of stars, planets, and everything in space, everything that we see in the sky. That's called space. And so, when we study about the space in general and everything in it, like the stars, so we mean that is called astronomy. So, is astronomy a branch of physics or not? That is the question. So, because we have to write it's true or false, right? So, in astronomy, we are talking about, let's say, stars. And what are stars? Stars are matters. And what is the study of matter? Physics. So, this statement that says astronomy is not a branch of physics is false because astronomy is a branch of physics. So, we are going to write here, false. Great. Let's continue. Number C here says scientific laws are obtained from observation made during experiments. Scientific laws are obtained from observations made during experiment. Okay, so here we have three words here. We have scientific laws, we have observations, and we have experiment. In order to answer this question, we need to know what these words mean so that we can know if the statement is true or false. So, when we say about scientific law over here, this scientific law, we mean the rules. Simply are the rules that are scientific in nature, are scientific rules that are made, just like any other rules or principles. And in science, we also have scientific laws or scientific rules. And then when we talk about observations, it means anything that you can observe, either by hearing, either by smelling, by using your sense organs, either by detecting, by using some sort of machines, or simply by seeing. So those are known as observations. And then an important word here is known as experiment. What is an experiment? You might or might not have heard about this word experiment, which is not a very complex word. It just means that it is a set of activity that is held under control to get certain behaviors, to get certain results. So maybe if you want to know maybe why this nail is getting attracted to the magnet, so you keep your nail here and then you take your magnet, we say you are doing an experiment because you control the activity so as to get certain results. So that is called an experiment. So let's now look at our statement very carefully. Scientific laws are obtained from observations made during experiment. So from this statement, we can know that it is true because you cannot obtain a law or you cannot make some certain rules unless you have observed during what? Your experiment. So we are going to write here, we are going to write here true. Great. Okay, let's look at the last question here. Part D. It says a person who studies physics is physicist. Okay, so we know people who do different works are known by their different names, right? So if there's a person, maybe you yourself, if you study physics but you go deep, not just studying, but you go deep and you want to know what are properties of matter. Maybe why does this thing behave like this? You go deep into physics and study it. Maybe you take some sort of branch of physics, like I said, astronomy was. So you will be known as a physicist. So this statement that says a person who studies physics is a physicist is actually true. So let's write here true. Great. So I suppose that we have learned some stuff here. We were able to answer these three questions of ours. This was just an introduction to physics, and as we go on, we are going to explore physics in its in a bigger view. So stay with me till then. Thank you.